How can you lack so much compassion? What if your mom, your dad, was immediately just taken from you as a white person, as a black person, as anyone? How can you just accept that? This is not, fuck, bro. This is so unreal, and how can people just lack compassion? How? Why can't you just imagine yourself just waking up one day with your family not there anymore? So LA businesses are getting raided by ICE, or some people that are wearing stuff that says ICE on it with their faces all covered up. People are getting ran over. Shots are being literally fired, literally. And this is supposed to be life right now. We're not gonna get treated like humans because they don't see us like humans. They lack compassion. How can you lack compassion? How? I understand that you're trying to get criminals out. Why are you going to workplaces where people are just trying to work? That doesn't make sense.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babe.
If you are furious about the ICE raids that are happening right now, keep scrolling. This video isn't for you. This video is for the people who are celebrating the ICE raids because we need to talk. Hi, I'm Delara. I'm undocumented. I have lived in the US since I was 5 years old, and I have a law degree from one of the best schools in the United States. And I want to start by giving you the benefit of the doubt. You want to feel safe. Maybe you were told a story about how undocumented immigrants are dangerous. Maybe you've
Does she say that she's undocumented? I'm sorry. Let me just rewind this really quickly, because I want to make sure that we're all in the same boat and that we all hearing the same thing.
If you are furious about the ICE raids that are happening right now, keep scrolling. This video isn't for you. This video is for the people who are celebrating the ICE raids because we need to talk. Hi, I'm Delara. I'm undocumented. I have lived in the US since I was
She did say that she was undocumented. Okay, let's continue.
5 years old, and I have a law degree from one of the best schools in the United States. And I want to start by giving you the benefit of the doubt. You want to feel safe. Maybe you were told a story about how undocumented immigrants are dangerous. Maybe you've heard a story about how they are stealing your resources. Maybe you heard a story about how ICE is the hero. But there's a couple of things I just want you to make sure that you know in case you didn't. The first thing that is really important for you to understand is that native-born Americans commit crimes at a higher rate than immigrants. This is not an opinion, it's not a take, it's just data. Even though it's well documented, you don't even have to be that smart to understand. When you commit a crime, you have way less to lose than I do. Because if you commit a crime, maybe you get fined, maybe you spend some time in jail. If an undocumented person commits a crime, they face deportation and being ripped away from their family.
These people holding up the Mexican flag, but nobody wants to live in Mexico. If we wouldn't want to live in Mexico, then why do the tios, the señores, the men, and the women too? They be working here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They just live in one room sharing it with a bunch of dudes. They send all their money back so they can build houses for their families, and they can't wait. They're just counting down the minutes in a year until when they can actually go back. Even las familias that live here, buying houses over there too. Every Mexican that I know own their houses here. They buy a house in Mexico too. They're building it or they're already bought it. So yes, nobody wants to live in the United States. I was born in the United States and I don't want to live in the United States. The next 5 years, I'm moving back to Mexico. Yes, we do want to live in Mexico. The only thing is that we're just making money here so we can actually go back to live in Mexico. Ain't nobody trying to live in this sweatshop of a country with a Gucci belt on.
I don't understand how people are still defending this man.
Look, a part of me can understand this woman's frustration. I don't know if she and her family or loved ones have gone through something traumatic as a result of this cleaning up the border, tightening things up, getting illegals the hell out of here. And if she has gone through that, I feel bad, right? You never want to see people suffer. But two things can be true. While I can have those feelings, I also feel some kind of way that I don't see the Hispanic community, specifically Hispanic women, calling out their men. And Marisol, I need y'all to slow your whole damn roll on this topic. Because y'all love to get on here. I think at one point, y'all were even pointing the finger at black men, which made me feel some kind of way with regard to the election and Trump and the border. And how come y'all ain't stepping up and we've been there for you, black and brown together. This whole time, even with this video, y'all never call out Enrique. You never call out your men, who, by the way, the majority of which voted for Trump. I think Trump got between 55 and 58% of the male Hispanic vote in this country. And I think 42 or 43% of the overall Hispanic vote. So yeah, I'm nitpicking and being petty with regard to your word choice, but I need you to be very specific when you talk about how can you or how can they still support this man. No, Chica, the support happened last November. You're too late to be talking about how could you support. Your men voted majority for Trump, 55%, over half. Yet y'all never call them out. And as a black man, I gotta say, I'm low-key jealous of Enrique. Marisol ain't gonna call him out for nothing. But oh, the black manosphere, man, election wasn't even over. We was already getting blamed. Michelle Obama even slapped Barack in the back of the neck. Go get these ninjas in line. Had him barking at us. Got blamed before the election was over. Voted, I think, 80-some% for Kamala. And still got blamed. Imagine that.
So after watching these clips, I can't help but notice a very clear pattern that keeps revealing itself. The Hispanic community, at least some of its loudest voices online, have really come out swinging aggressively, calling black Americans lacking of compassion, simply because they've chosen to sit this one out. Some of them are even blaming black community, black people for what ICE is doing to their community, as if somehow they created those policies or ran the system. They talked about how they came to America just to make money, how there's nothing really good or special about this country compared to Mexico, and that they would honestly rather be back home if it went for the financial opportunities. One girl, if I heard correctly, even went as far as to call black people stupid and said she hopes to see them in hell. Can you imagine that? Over a protest that they had no hand in creating and the situation that isn't of their making. It's like I've been saying in my other videos, this whole thing, the We Are Sitting This One Out movement by black Americans has really dragged the mask off and exposed some uncomfortable truths concerning the Hispanics. It's truly the worst out of it has shown the worst out of this Hispanic community, not all of them, but certainly the loudest ones, the majority of them, the bitterness, the entitlement, and the thing that stands out the most, all of it, out of all this. In every video that I've seen so far, the message isn't we need you or we value you as allies. No, it's always more like we don't even like you, but we want to use you. They didn't actually say those words, okay? But let's be honest, that's the vibe that's coming out of these videos, like loud and clear. And that's the saddest part about this whole situation, because this isn't about unity. This isn't about justice. It's about using black pain, black struggle, and black sacrifice as fuel for someone's fire. And this time, we see it for what it is. Let's continue watching these clips, please.
You people and Anglo-Saxon people came to the Americas, stole the nationality of the so-called black Americans who are the real indigenous people. Now you're calling yourself indigenous and you want help from us, the peoples whose nationality you stole? I don't think so.
You're dead.
Shh. Obviously, you're not reading your comments. Go see what people are saying. You asked a question. Now go and see what folks are saying in the comments. You asked the question. Shh. Stop being a big old crybaby. You remind me of one of the little gnats. You know, like when you're in the South, the little things that come in your little gnats. You remind me of one of those little gnats. Little gnat.
Excuse me, young lady. I don't know if you know who you are actually talking to and what community you talking to. But we had our children snatched from us. Our children have been hung. They're shot in their backs on the street. We've marched for so many different things. It's been so many reasons. We've been so compassionate to every other race that just dog walked us and treated us like shit, including your community. And the things that we have been through in our past and our ancestors being buried and beaten and burned and hung, and our family members snatched away from us and then given names that don't even belong to us as a people. You'll get used to it.
Grand Risings, I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Lack of compassion. The compassion you showed my people. You talking about being deported. We were unalived, graped, fed to alligators, called it gator baiting. Hair stuffed, our couches stuffed with our hair. George Washington got a mouthful of slave teeth. And you want us to have compassion. Y'all ain't never cared nothing about black folk. You don't even like dark-skinned Mexicans, I bet you. Go away.
So after watching all these clips that I've seen, and some of them that I've not even put here, I've come to a conclusion, and I honestly wish this wasn't true, but here we are. I truly believe that many in this Hispanic community genuinely think that they're better than Black Americans, Black folks. I'm telling you, they may not say those exact words out loud, but the energy, the tone, their frustration, they're all pointing in that direction. This isn't just random people going ballistic on the internet, letting off steam or popping off for no reason. No, this feels deeper than that. This feels intentional. They are communicating something to us Black people, whether they realize it or not. Don't let anyone try to gaslight you by saying, oh, they didn't mention Black people directly, or they didn't mention your name. Why are you assuming it's about you? Please. Who else is sitting these protests out? Who else made a collective decision to not rally this time? I'll tell you, it's the Black people community, the Black community. No other group is being dragged and called out by implication. No other demographic is being labeled as lacking compassion because they chose to stay quiet. Please spare me the argument that this isn't directed at Black people, because the subtext is loud, even if the words are carefully selected. But here's the thing that really baffles me. Black American, Black folks are not out here celebrating what's happening to the Hispanic community. We are not out in the streets cheering about ICE raids or detentions. No one is throwing a party over your suffering. We are simply sitting this one out quietly, letting you deal with a system that has been brutal to Black folks generations. One you ignored when it was our families, our men, our women, our children being locked up and deported, separated and caged. So now that the wheels have turned, we're not rushing to your defense, not because we hate you, not because we want to see you fall, but because for once we're choosing to put ourselves first. And apparently that decision, the simple act of minding our business, has triggered some of the nastiest, most disrespectful opinions to come flying out from some corners of the Hispanic community. Options that I promise you we're not going to forget anytime soon. And honestly, I'm glad that Black folks chose to sit this one out, because look what it revealed. Look at the true colors that have come out to the surface. Some of you clearly never saw Black folks as allies. Some of you never respected their struggles. You tolerated Black folks when you thought they could be useful. But the second they stepped back and said, not this time, the mask slipped. The truth poured out. What I see now is that Black people still live rent-free in the heads of some of these folks. And you can prove me wrong if you want to. Please drop that thought in the comment section, because I would love to hear from the people who see this differently. But from where I'm sitting, this obsession, this anger, this sense of betrayal, it only confirms that some of you never really wanted to be part of the Black community. You wanted to get something out and then walk out, and when Black folks didn't respond the way you expected them to respond, somehow that turned out to be what it is now. You wanted to use black energy, black outrage, black protest to fuel your own battles, and when that fuel dried up, the resentment came pouring out. That's what this whole moment has shown, and yeah, you can't tell me otherwise. This isn't personal for black folks. We are not celebrating your hardship. We are not clapping while ICE, does their job. We're just standing back, watching as the very system that tore black folks apart is now coming for you because you did not listen to black folks in the first place when they told you to make the right choice at the polls. And the way you're reacting, the way you're lashing out at ICE, not at the government, but at black folks, that is telling us everything that we need to know, And it's funny, isn't it? You said you didn't need black folks. You said black folks weren't worthy standing besides. But now that they stepped away, you guys are outraged. Which is which, guys? Make that make sense. Do you need black folks or you don't? Which one is which? Because it seems like the only time black lives matter to some folks outside the black community is when they can be used as a shield or a sword. When they refuse to play that role anymore, you guys lose your mind. Anyway, those were just my thoughts, my honest thoughts, but I want to hear from you. What did you think about this video? Is this moment really revealing the truth about how some Hispanics voice really feel about black Americans? Is this just frustration boiling over, or is this the ugly truth that's been hiding under the surface for years? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so that every time I upload such videos you'll be notified. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.